Alright guys, welcome back to HF Radio. So I'm having to redo another video. I did kind of a breakdown on my tools, had them nice and laid out, everything I was going to be using for the airplane, the real airplane build. But something happened. Well, I know what happened. I'd put it on the other channel and decided not to do a separate channel, just change the name of my RC channel to the High Fly Radio. So when I did that, I lost that video, and I guess I'd already deleted it from my database. So that being said, I'm going to just kind of show you all the tools and kind of do a quick rundown of what they are in the shop. I've been trying to finish the shop. I didn't realize how many outlets I had. So I had about 50 outlets to do total. And I got all the outlets in the shop. So now I can plug stuff in and don't have to run extension cords and everything. So that's really nice. And I also wanted to get my speakers in. Kind of see them up there. Only thing I have left to do is run some wires. And I will do that once we get off of this video and everything, because I gotta get up in the attic area and just hook them all up. So yeah, so I'm gonna do this real quick, just kind of show you guys. I'm gonna put this thing on my head like I do when I do my RC builds, and I will be doing this, probably to be doing this a lot with the actual plane when I make content, just because it frees up the hands, obviously. So so what I'm doing is, this area here will be mainly for the plane starting out. I got to get some of these things moved around. But so this is kind of like the workstation area. These tables are adjustable up and down. They're roll-arounds and things like that. So I'll just kind of go from right to left. Bandsaw. I bought this with aluminum, like a what do they call it? Anyways, it's a metal cutting blade. It's for aluminum. And then I got this saw, which I mainly got to cut trim angle, but it does have a metal blade on it. Don't know how much of this I'll actually really use, but I've got it and it's here. A vise with a couple different soft jaws. That way you don't damage the aluminum parts that you put in it. Headset with Bluetooth capability. These are hearing protection because some of the tools that you are running in on this tools, when you're driving, rivets are loud. So because it's hammering metal. So I'm trying to get this here so I can set this here. Big rubber mallet. Gonna need this for a few things to straighten kind of thick metal parts, and it's just nice to have a BFM. So little scroll saw here, mainly, and keep in mind, a lot of this stuff I've had for RC stuff. It just kind of works for both. Kind of go through these. So this is a 90-degree drill attachment with all the various bits. Get into the nice hard to reach places. A little bit of controversy with these guys. These are reamers. So what they do is they burr a hole, but the way they work is they have this little blade in here, and you can adjust these. I believe you can adjust them. I gotta check that, see how to adjust them. And the principle is, as it goes through, it deburrs one side of the hole, and then as you push it through, it deburrs the back side, so you don't have to flip it over and deburr the metal twice. It does it all in one thing. So the controversy is that it can enlarge the hole. I don't see, I mean, I'm sure that could happen. I'm getting messages from somewhere and they're not showing up. So I'll have to figure that one out. But yeah, so anyways, moving on. Rivet gun, 3x rivet gun. I've got the basically like a flex adapter here with a regulator on it. The drill has the same kind of flex with the And I'll get to these in a minute. No regulator on that. Cleco, pneumatic Cleco gun. Don't know how much I'll use that, but it was in the kit. Tungsten bucking bars. These things are ridiculously expensive. Like that's like $250 right there. But they're super dense and heavy for the size, and that's what you want when you're making rivets. This is just a still one. And different sizes and different things are for different areas and things like that. I made this manifold. These two manifolds I made, and they're for these guys. These are the air hoses that you can buy from Cleveland, and they have these little quick connects. And if you notice, they're a little stubby versus the normal type, and they're just like a quick connect. But these hoses are nice, man. They're super lightweight, super flexible. They don't kink up, and it's a lot easier to move around when you're working on a plane. So this manifold will hook to the compressor, and then I can plug in up to 3 tools. This is just one I made when I needed to use other things. BioLube for your drill bits and things, for helping them cut, and oil for the guns. Drill press, nothing crazy. Dimple die set, which I'll kind of talk about, which goes with this guy, which I already did a video about it, but your various sizes for dimpling. Dimpling your skins for your rivets. I already talked about this guy, the CAD 1. And then you've got this Noom ATX, which is it's this, but a smaller version. So this is a hand squeezer that's mounted to essentially a dimpler with these yokes, various yokes for different types of things. But this is a hand one, and it's much smaller, as you can see, and it has a foot control. So we'll make life a lot easier. It has to be filled up. It uses kind of an oil system. A little belt sander, another belt sander. This one's really handy just because it's kind of small and you can kind of work small areas. Just another version of this belt sander. Little table drum sander. I'm not sure how much I'll use this for anything, but this little hand sander with like a little belt sander will come in handy when I get to the cabin with the fiberglass. This will come in handy for places too. You can even use it to kind of deburr a little bit if you wanted to, as long as you're careful. Drills, impact drill, kind of like the DeWalt's brushless, both of them. They work great, last a long time. This is kind of a must. So you got a table grinder. I got a variable speed because I don't like, these things scare me when they're spinning like that. Those things explode, get crazy. But the biggest thing is this, is you have to get a cut and polish wheel. And the typical one that everybody buys is a 3M, but it's ridiculously priced. It's like 150 bucks. But you can get these Haas, depending on where you get them, they range from like 30 bucks to 50 something bucks for these guys. And it's the same thing, much cheaper, and will do the same exact job. And I put like foot controls on everything. That way, if something gets crazy, I can really, not having to try to scramble and turn it off. Yeah, so that's kind of the table tools. Since we're over here, we'll kind of go through the drawer stuff here. So nothing really here. Hobby stuff, tools to adjust things, some more belts for the little hand sander. And down here is kind of the riveting stuff. So this is a special bucking bar for the stabs, which I'll get to soon because that's one of the first things I'll start on. Other types of bucking bars, these are the steel ones, but they're still not cheap. Fluting tools, a lot of times when they press the parts, these aluminum parts, they will be not level, so you put the fluting tool on and it kind of puts little bends to kind of help straighten and make the parts flat. A rivet puller, 3M stuff. I got a whole pack of this stuff. This stuff, will be using this through the whole build, cleaning up, deburring, scuffing, and getting ready to paint. Some various shears, edge thing, a rivet cutter, which you'll use. This is the yoke from the pneumatic squeezer that came with it. The video I did for that shows and kind of talks about the yoke, so I'm not going to go over that again. Again, here's these hoses. Buckets of different size Clecos, probably don't have enough, but that's what I have. There's about 100 or so of each for different sizes. Cleco pliers, and I have it's down here, but it's an edge bender, so you can bend things. Will probably come in handy. Well, I know it'll come in handy for some of the parts that you have to bend. Move this out of the way here. So getting to the meat of it, a dimpler on a vice grip, and it's for dimpling 2 different sizes. I got 2 sizes, 8/32 and 1/8. Those will come in handy for those hard to reach places you can't get with your normal dimple. Some other type of Clecos, the larger size Cleco, and then these clamp vice type Clecos will come in handy for various things. Oh, here we go. And just a tool. These guys right here are man, I forget what they're called. I'm brain farting. Nut plate jigs. So the nut plates that you got to put in all over the place in this aircraft for panels and things. This is a nice little jig to help you drill those and get them accurate each time. There's 2 sizes, 8/32, and then this one's the 6/32. They make a lot more than that. So this is where the bulk of the little tools are. This guy here, it's a hole maker, so the premise is, you can kind of spread it out and then you put them in, you got all your holes and you just drill them as you need to. Don't know how often I'll use it, but I know it'll be used some. It's a good way to transfer and make holes on material in a long line. I know there are some parts that you'll have to use this with, but I don't know how many, but for when it hurts, a good tool. Just a little gauge to for the AN bolts and tell you the different lengths and sizes. Deburring, just another style of deburring, like a hand tool. This is a deburrer as well. This will probably be a common use one. You can just kind of put it in there and you kind of deburr the hole. But then again, you got to flip it over and do the other side if it's a big skin. That's why the other one seems like a better idea. Washer and bolt holder to get into places. You know how many times you drop something while you're trying to put it in. Cherry Max rivet gauge. Essentially, the premise of this, a Cherry Max rivet is it's like a pull rivet, but it's strong like a smash rivet. So you got to use this gauge to kind of know how much to smash it or pull, how hard. Something, I got to figure it out. I've never used them, but essentially you put it in the hole and you see how deep it is. And based off this gauge, it'll tell you how big the round part should be. I don't know, we'll see. Rivet gauges for the typical smash rivets. You basically just, depending on the size of the rivet, this hole is how big when you smash the rivet, the bottom of it basically turns into a circle, and you put this over it to see if you've smashed it or over smashed it. So, some punches to make holes or make start points for drill holes, markers, step drills that will come in handy. This little guy here is a trailing edge rivet kind of gauge, because you're angled, and it helps you put those rivets in the trailing edge. Forgot to tell you about this. This big metal thing here is just a steel plate, which is for back riveting. Other types of dimplings. These are essentially like a dimple that you put in it's almost like it's squeezing it, kind of like the wrench ones, but this one has essentially the shaft. You pull on it like with a rivet squeezer, and it will dimple for you. Squeeze gauge to kind of set up your dimple and die. This little guy here, if you can kind of see this goes on your squeezer, and it does that trailing edge for you. It holds it in place, so when you're squeezing that trailing edge, it kind of gets you the perfect angle. for it. Various types of drill bits that you'll have. I've got a few different types like double margin, and then the Cobalt jabber drills. Reamers, which are supposed to be make some really nice holes. So if you have a rivet that doesn't like the go, like you've got a multiple layer of metal with a hole through them all, or a bolt that won't go through something, you can run a reamer through it. It'll clean the hole up, make it perfect, and the stuff usually will drop right in. These are rivet removing tools. So when you screw up, you're going to probably have to replace a rivet. This makes it easy to drill it out and replace it. Countersink tools, I had one, so you put these little bits in here for various size holes, and it does a recess drill on you. So, and you can set the depth. I went ahead and got 2 more. That way I can have 3 set to a like a number 6 or number 8, number 12, number 30, number 40, whatever. I don't have to keep changing them out, so it makes it easier. Oops rivets. So when you have to replace a rivet, a lot of times when you squeeze the original rivet, it will make the hole just a little bit larger. So these oops rivets are what you put in that same hole, and they're a little bit larger. They have various sizes, so it'll be a little bit larger of a rivet to kind of help fill that hole again for the enlarged hole. And that is the bulk of it. I mean, that's really, for the most part, the basic construction. That's really all you're needing to turn this into an airplane tail. So I'll be using these tables, the large 72-inch roll-around tables, to build on. I've got 2 of them. I just got to get that one cleaned off and brought over. I'll put some carpet over like that. It'll help protect the actual parts and everything. So yeah, that's it. It's a very long video, and sorry I had it all laid out before. I just lost that video. So hopefully I didn't bore everybody. It's just a lot of tools and what do you use for the tools. And when I start building the actual plane again, you'll see what does what when I'm using it. So, but the bulk of it is, you know, drilling holes, reaming them, or deburring them, and then smashing some rivets. You know, you hold this on the back side, and this basically pounds the rivet, and as it hits it, it flattens the side, and that's it. And it sets the rivet, as they say, which I'll have to practice. I haven't done it in a while. I actually ordered a kind of practice kit. I'm waiting on an update for the rudder, or the horizontal, the vertical. I've got to do a service bulletin update to the stop. So I ordered a little practice kit. So, but anyways, that's a long video about a lot of tools, and hopefully you guys get something from it. And eventually, once I put the air system in, I really don't even have to put it in, but I want to get all these little to-do list items out of the way before I start this, because I hate having to stop and do things once I start something. Granted, that'll be a lot with this airplane, but that will be trying to keep it as minimal interruptions as possible. So, but you guys take it easy. Be patient. Like I said, we'll get to the cool stuff again. I do have one more RC project to do this year, or whenever it gets here. And then, yeah, of course, the plane. So just bear with me. We'll get to the good stuff. Maybe throw in some music, some guitar stuff. I'll make a fool of myself on the guitar. And again, I'm trying. The goal is to get some people in here and just kind of work on the plane with me and kind of talk music, talk shop. You know, kind of like I don't want to say interviewing, but you know, just have conversation with some musicians, and just whatever comes up and conversation comes up, you know, maybe you'll learn something, maybe I'll learn something. So you guys take it easy. I'm gonna go play around in the attic. So cheers. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, it helps. I'm trying to grow the channel. I don't get paid for anything, but that's because not enough people are watching yet. So hopefully we'll get there. So you guys take it easy. Cheers.